All right, y'all. So your underlying energy for this week is the Five of Swords. So this is really talking about focusing on your truth, making sure that you are taken care of. It's honestly okay to be selfish this week, if that's what the card comes up. And the reason why is because you have the Knight of Swords. For some of you guys, you gotta know what you want, right? You gotta know what your truth is and what it is and what isn't acceptable. And for a lot of you guys, it has a lot to do with the Sagittarius that you guys may be involved with. Being very selfish and going ahead and be careful not to do everything and anything possible to make this person settle down, because they're naturally not meant to. They're naturally supposed to be that person that initiates good vibes, go out there and do to spread their energy. They're not necessarily the long-term commitment type. Now, this person could be a fling. This doesn't necessarily have to be a Sagittarius. This person could be very fun, very passionate, and very exciting to be around, but when they just get serious, they kind of not fly, but they kind of run from the scenes. So, with your current state being, guys, you have the Star. You guys got two cards in here that indicate Aquarius. So for some of you guys could be literally dating an Aquarius, or you guys could be seeing an Aquarius and they're just kind of like not interested in having something to do with a relationship right now. But I do feel like at the same time they're very exciting, very passionate. But for some of you, aside from the signs, you guys have a lot of hope. I feel you guys see the potential for something great. This could be in a relationship, this could be in your work, and this could be anywhere, right? But ultimately, I feel like for a lot of you guys do feel like this growing bit of hope inside of you guys in regards to a situation, in regards to blossoming some sort of way, right? For a lot of you guys could be currently healing at the same time here. Now, what you guys want? The Ten of Cups. That's totally understandable, right? You guys want happiness. You guys want to see the happily ever after. You really want to be able to be surrounded by people that care about you, people that love you, and also complete an emotional cycle for some of you guys. But the thing that's keeping you from getting to the Ten of Cups is temperance. There isn't a lot of balance going on within yourself. There's not really a lot of focus on yourself. Now, the Five of Swords is indicating that they're indicating that you need to focus on yourself. You need to be focusing on what it is that your truth is, and making sure that you're doing everything that you can in your control at all times. Overcompensating, going into someone else's business, and kind of being a bit codependent can cause the Five of Swords to become sabotaging. That's when the meaning of sabotaging can come up. Because when you're forcing something to happen, or you're being very ruthless, you may end up doing something you may not want to do, and end up having to sacrifice, which can lead to an empty victory. But the Five of Swords ends up in an empty victory anyway, because sometimes there's certain things that you need that just need to be done. On a moral standpoint rather than a emotionally feel-good standpoint. So for some of you guys, it could be talking about standing up for yourself, and sometimes doing something that you feel you need to do at the time, regardless of how it may feel when it's done. Okay, but I feel like there's a lack of balance going on here. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of balance going on within yourself, monitoring all things, just handling your stuff, doing the best that you can with yourself. It has a lot to do with this King of Swords. I feel like this King of Swords could be this could be you, right? Or this could be someone else, right? That's Aquarius, Gemini, Pisces. You may, let me see, what's going on? Why is the King of Swords here? What does the King of Swords have to do with temperance? Strength. Whew. Okay, so somebody's very difficult to communicate with sometimes. Somebody's very stuck on their truth. Very stuck on the truth. But there's someone that can also really be very helpful, rather, as long as you remain honest with them. This person could be any sign. It doesn't necessarily have to be an air sign. But this person does come up with very clear knowledge of what their truth is, and they stand by their truth. And I feel like for them, they've been through a lot of stuff, they've been through a lot of crap, so they are currently very tired. But ultimately, this person you feel is a really good communicator, and they could end up, I don't really understand how they can disrupt the flow of things. They may just be very, I don't know if they can be very manipulative. They have the potential to be. They're very good talkers. They could talk you into doing anything you want to, anything. They could talk you into doing anything. But maybe we'll have to come back to this, because the King of Swords, they're very powerful in the way they are, they communicate their things, they communicate whatever they want to communicate, and they're very smart. Yeah, we're gonna have to come back to that. Standing on your ground is your advice. Wow. So, for a lot of you guys, maybe this is the reason. The reason why. Wow. So, you want this? You want the Ten of Cups here. With the Ten of Cups, the thing that's keeping you from the Ten of Cups is temperance, and it has a lot to do with balance, keeping things going, managing yourself, and things like that. Like, I mean, this is honestly talking about standing your ground, standing your truth. And with the Seven of Wands, it's also saying the same thing. Standing your ground, standing by what you believe in, but standing by, you know, the hard work that you put in. Because you're going to have a lot of people that come back at you. And I feel like the King of Swords can be very critical. And that's why there's a lot of difficulty dealing with this person. But ultimately, they could disrupt the flow, your flow, because of the constant nitpicking. Okay, I don't know. Okay. But I do get the sense that the King of Swords is affecting the flow somehow, and it's making it very difficult for you to live with them, because they could be very demanding. They could be very, you know, they could be very, they can be very, like, I guess, stubborn in their own ways, because they know that their truth is 100% the truth. They're not ready to break from that. This is a fixed sign, right? They're not ready to just change their mind at any given moment. So it could be that the flow is broken here because there's no compromise. So that could be it too, because the Five of Swords talk about no compromising. So I feel like if they're not willing to compromise, Pisces, you don't need to compromise. So you need to stand your ground. That's why the Seven of Wands is coming up. Okay, stand your ground. Now, how you feel? You guys have the High Priestess. You're kind of going with the flow. You're a little passive, which is, you know, it's all right, because, you know, the Queen of the High Priestess does indicate passive energy here. So you're just letting that energy kind of flow through you. You're just kind of gaining information, trusting your intuition, going along with that. But there could be some information here that's kept a secret, and especially in regards to your emotions. You may be keeping a secret about how you feel, or you may not be expressing how you feel and keeping that hidden. Especially if somebody doesn't really care a lot about emotions. The King of Swords doesn't really typically care about emotions too much. They can be very cold. So you may be holding all that back in, because this person may be very demanding about what their truth is, despite how you feel. Now, what you guys' hopes and fears is the Lovers. So you guys want to feel free. I feel like you guys want to just love and be in the moment with the person. Okay. With the Lovers here, I don't think it's necessarily a choice. I do feel like here that you want to be in love, despite what the differences are in front of you, because there is a difference. I mean, I don't know if there's conflict. I mean, there's conflict here with the Five of Swords. That's blatant conflict. But excuse me. But with the Five of Swords here, with the Five of Swords here, I feel like you want to still, you feel love for this person no matter what. It's just that they make it very difficult sometimes. I feel like this was up. They make it very difficult, and you're having to it's hard to keep your balance going because of them. But at the end of the day, they should never have any effect in how you do your thing, how you do yourself, how you handle yourself. The fact that they are is saying that you're possibly too involved into them, which needs to be focusing back on the Five of Swords, which is focusing on you, talking about you, focusing on what you need to get done for yourself. Okay, so if someone else is disrupting the flow, it's because the balance between you and this person is imbalanced, and it's time to focus on yourself and focus on your truth and not compromise on your truth, which is you, to be able to maintain balance and get things going, so that divine timing can really truly have its effect and push things through. You have a lot of major arcana here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now your outcome, you guys have the King of Cups. I don't mind this card too much, but the fact that you guys have the High Priestess in your feelings, it does kind of make me a little nervous. Because the King of Cups, he knows how he feels. He's very, very, very good at controlling his emotions, to the point where he ends up not really communicating what's going on with him. And it could be that at some point, maybe you guys may feel like you don't really need to communicate how you guys feel because it's irrelevant. Never think that. How you feel is very important. But, I mean, you guys could be feeling very in love, very inspired, very romantic here. Especially if you continue to defend yourself, defend your truth. I do feel like the King of Cups is really indicating here that you will feel in love. However, you want to be careful that you don't get into a habit of keeping your emotions in, because it's not healthy. You know what I mean? It's not healthy. It's good to communicate that. And for some of you guys, the King of Swords may not be anybody in your life at all. Maybe perhaps is that it's time to communicate how you are, what is imbalanced in yourself, to be able to gain balance back into your life, right? Communicating it, standing by your truth, and remaining selfish. Maybe there's not a lot of communication here, and there's something that you need to be communicative about in regards to the balance. Alright, Pisces, let me go ahead and pull you guys your romance angels here for the rest of the week. Okay, and you guys have retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world, okay? So this is talking about, you know, taking a step back, really looking at the world around you, really giving yourself some time to heal, because the star is indicating healing now. Okay, healing is important. Okay, so you may need to heal, and this is also retreat with someone, so you may need to take some time out to really, you know, get away from the stressful environment. Maybe you guys are constantly in that state of stress, and this was bringing up a lot of petty arguments for some of you guys out there. With you and your partner, and it's just like, you don't need all that, because it's probably the environment around you that's causing you guys to feel very stressed. It's reacting to the environment. But that's the thing, you have to learn how to separate yourself from the environment. Pisces, you're very empathic, and I know it's very hard, but that's why it's important to build boundaries and to have build up some force fields or some protection for you guys. Okay, because being open and out there for everybody to kind of mess with can bring in narcissists. They can bring in a lot of unhealthy and toxic people, and that's why it's important to build boundaries, to really see, you know, learn the lessons that you guys get from certain relationships to help you build boundaries to protect yourself from people that could come in that could be manipulative, right? The King of Pentacles. Serendipity. So you guys have good luck coming in as well. That's awesome. The star, again, indicating good luck. I like this, guys. I really feel like, despite the weirdness with the King of Swords here, you guys have good luck here. You guys are healing. It's very clear what your hopes and fears are. Right? You want love. You want, you know, unconditional love, and you want to feel happy. Right? You want this wonderful in the beginning, and in the outcome, you guys will feel this way. But it's all about communicating how you feel, which is very important. Okay. You might see a change of luck this week as well, but you just gotta stand by your ground, stand for what you believe in, stand for what you feel that you deserve. And I don't think buckling is gonna. It's gonna help. But most importantly, guys, temperance is all about keeping moderation and everything like that. So as long as you can't handle yourself, handle you, and not, you know, don't try to overcompensate for someone else because you want something that badly, right? Just handle yourself, and divine time will take care of everything. Okay, that's going to mean to stand your ground with yourself.